Hello and welcome to this News9 special. We have been tracking the developments in Manipur, but there is a parallel development that is happening far away from Manipur. That is in the southern state of Kerala, and where it has hit it at the church level itself. And where it has hit it hard is also at the political level, where the BJP had been trying to have an outreach with the Christians in that state. There's a political reason for that. That is because it's very simple arithmetic that works in that place. Well, Christian clergy in Kerala, meanwhile, is at the receiving end of the laity over responding to the outreach by the BJP. The clergy has been criticized for its softening approach to the BJP in the state. The factor that led to the situation was the Manipur conflict. Now, even a Christian publication went ahead and criticized the church leaders for doing too little and that too late. There is an unseen divide in Kerala Christians as well. When the Prime Minister met with the bishops in Kerala, it was mostly from the Syrian Catholic and Orthodox churches. There are no meetings that were arranged with the Protestant bishops and Protestant leaders during that visit to Kochi. Meanwhile, the BJP has had successful alliances with Protestant churches in the northeast and working relationship with the Catholic Church in Goa. Kerala has been a very tough political terrain because of the religious demographics in that state. At News9, we shall discuss whether there is a split between the clergy and its churchgoers driven by the Manipur situation, and whether the honeymoon between the clergy and the BJP is actually hitting rough weather. Well, to discuss more about this, we have in our studios, we have Pankaj Mishra, in fact, who joins with us. And at the same time, we have Father Paul Telakat, who is also the editor of Satyadeepam. And we have with us also a political analyst, Sanjay Rana, who is in fact also joining us. So as of now, let us in fact go to Pankaj Mishra. Pankaj, do you see this kind of dichotomy that is happening? In the Northeast, there is some kind of a political successful outreach when it comes to the BJP, but then in Kerala they have been failing many times, and now an incident in the Northeast is threatening to derail their outreach in the state.
Well, yes, the jury is out, Varghese, that what is happening in Manipur, how it is panning out as far as the BJP is concerned, because N. Biren Singh, who is at the helm of affairs in Manipur, obviously has faced a lot of flack also, plus he is trying his best in order to bring the situation under control. But the ripple effect of this particular incident is somewhat felt in Kerala too, where the BJP, not just recently, but even during last year's Christmas, I remember the BJP party workers heading to Christian households and trying to, get them, get to know each other, and also the gift process was also undertaken so that the Christian community could cozy up to the BJP. But the kind of arithmetic that you just mentioned, Varghese, about how on one hand they are meeting the Protestant members, but on the other they are not, as far as the Northeast is concerned. So in that scenario also, for them to understand how this politics actually works in Kerala is something that BJP is still trying to figure out. But yes, as far as the Manipur issue is concerned, there has been criticism also down south in Kerala from of the BJP and of the clergy, both for delayed reaction to it. BJP for not paying enough attention and not responding in time, quote unquote. That was the scenario. Remember, in Kerala, BJP has sensed opportunity before as well. It's not that they are trying to, their outreach, the Christian outreach, or for that matter, the minority outreach, because talking about Christmas, then later on we talk about Eid ul-Fitr also, where we saw distinctive outreach towards the Muslim community. That was also something which was pretty much palpable. BJP, in a way, trying to decode, how it could make its inroads. I remember when the rubber farming community, the church there mentioned that if the minimum selling price, the MSP of rubber, could be taken at a particular cost, then they would consider supporting BJP. All these things put together looks like is leaving the BJP especially in a quandary as of now, that how to break into this citadel of Kerala, where the left parties have been, having their go. They are, as of now, in power there. So yes, Varghese, if we talk about the dichotomy in both the northeastern part of the country and down south in Kerala, as far as BJP's approach is concerned, well, yes, it is loud and clear, but how to get around it? Politics, you can have a different partner altogether in a different part of the country, but when it comes to forging new alliances, I think no political party would have any qualm in shaking hand with whoever supports them in their political venture.
Well, in fact, let's look at that simple arithmetic that we are talking about, Pankaj. Let's in fact have those graphics when it comes to the population graphics in Kerala. Let's in fact see how that population graphics in fact shows the way the population is distributed. It's based on 2011 demographic count when it comes to this. And of course, we can see there, well, Hindus constitute 54.73%. Those who follow Islam are 26.56%. Christianity is 18.38%, and of course there are people who have a belief in no religion, which is around 0.33%. This is based on the census in 2011, and this is the numbers that have been sticking around for quite some time. So let's go to in fact Father Paul Telakat, who in fact joins us. Father, when we look at Kerala, of course, the church has had many a times some kind of a distinct political viewpoint, and they had been expressing it. We have seen how the Vimojana Samram was there, years back when Namboodiripad was the chief minister to bring down the communist government then. But then also the church has been part of several movements after that as well. It has, for interestingly, some statistics that in fact looks at as a UDF constituent. Let me in fact see whether we have those numbers as well, where it tells that the church has been a very loyal, or rather the Christians in Kerala has been a very loyal votary for the UDF. And in the years we see that from 2014, I think if the graphics can come up, we have seen how from 3% it's dropped to 1%. That is the kind of situation that we have seen when it comes to the voting of Christians when it comes to the NDA. So when they do have a vote share that has been completely wiped off, we are seeing induction of Antony's son into the BJP, and how that could have in fact seen some kind, or is rather seen as some kind of an effort to placate the Christian voters over here. But do you think in any way that the BJP can make inroads in Kerala?
I do not think that they cannot make inroads. But the basic factor is that Christians in Kerala believe in three important values, which are fraternity, freedom, and equality. These are evangelical virtues as well as constitutional virtues. The Christians are basically hard believers of these three virtues: freedom, fraternity, and equality. That is not only evangelical virtues, it is also basically Indian values as well. When you look to Indian scriptures, Upanishads and Vedas, except for manuscript, they are basically this kind of freedom is there, fraternity is there, equality is there. That is basically the bedrock of Christian ethos, Christian life, and therefore we will be also welcoming anybody who embraces this kind of parties, who embrace equality, freedom, and fraternity. That is the basic value system in which the Christians live in Kerala. I believe it is also part of all the rest of India, where the Christianity is a small minority. But in Kerala, it is 18%. But this will be the bedrock from which the Christians will be looking at party, behaving, and also seeing the electoral politics. This is a fundamental truth. And perhaps the BJP party is playing, I am afraid to say, some sort of double speak. The top leaders will say peace, but the grassroots leaders and grassroots organizations will understand it as war. This is a dialectical position they take, and that dialectics is entering into some sort of war between two groups, pitching one group against other group. This politics of dialectics is being played in Northeast, and is what the dead tragedy is what happened in Manipur. This can also play here. The Hindus against Muslims, Christians against Muslims. That kind of a dialectics of pitching one group against other will not work. As you see in Karnataka, people have realized this is not a real politics. This politics must be one which embraces plurality, accepting all differences. Difference is not antagony, difference is not dialectics, difference can be understood and also assimilated and lived together. That attitude is the attitude with every Christian in India imbibes and lives by it. That is perhaps the whole mistake what BJP is doing. They are pitching against Muslims, against the Christians, and that kind of divisive mentality, that kind of hatred and hate propaganda may not work. That is what they have to understand. I suppose this is the harmony in which the community lives in Kerala as well as anywhere. That is the fundamental ethos of community harmony in Kerala, and that is what is the basic of the culture of Kerala, the mutual amity and friendship and brotherly attitude to everyone. I think this is where Hindutva forces misunderstand and pitching one group against other, and dialectics of war is waged. That creates Manipur situations, and that is a tragedy that India perhaps will face one after another. That is
Well,
what
Father,
are
we also have with us Sanjay Rana, who is a political analyst. Let's go to Sanjay Rana. Sanjay, how do you see this? In Kerala, there have been a lot of efforts by the BJP to, in fact, to reach out to the Christian community. Now, I'll tell you what is happening in Kerala. There is a backlash against the clergy that have associated with that outreach, or who have softened their approach to that outreach. They have, especially the laity, or what we call as the common man within the church, is now hitting out at their bishops and their priests, saying that, do you see what is happening in Manipur? Why did you associate yourself with the BJP leadership? So this is something that has in fact hit them hard, and there have been a lot of effort on the part of the BJP leadership in Kerala as well as the centre to go for that outreach, and probably it took a lot of time. But has the Manipur incident, do you think, has brought that kind of a dent that would in fact make it an uphill task for the BJP to reach out to the Christians in Kerala?
Good evening and good evening to my fellow panelists. First of all, we need to understand two things, two different things, two different geographies altogether. And what is happening in Manipur is totally different. What is going on in the Kerala is totally different. When we talk about the Manipur incidents, which happened on 3rd of May of this month, so if you look at it, was a Kuki community, which is mostly dominated, Kuki and Naga, mostly covering approx 40%, 45% of the geography, and mostly population look at are approx 45%, and they are mostly are Christians, converted to Christian. When we are talking about the Methi is 53% of total population, living in only 10% of the area, which is a fertile area within Manipur. Obviously, incidents of how it's happened. Incidents was against Metis, and if you look at nearby 35,000 Metis have moved from their places to another places, approx 9,000 were casualties. And if you look at how government handled, incidents happened on the 3rd of May, and within 24 hours, Kuldeep Singh has been appointed as the advisor of government and immediately taken in charge. And 5th of May, everything has been normalized. See the kind of effort government has taken to manage the situation within Manipur. I'm coming back to Kerala. You need to understand the Kerala situation. Here, the situation is the demographic changes which is happening. If you look at, I was just looking at the number which you're saying in terms of population. I'm giving a 2-3 numbers which is totally different. If you look at the Kerala population in 1951, it was 70% Hindus, approx 20%, 19-20% Christians, and Muslim were 14%. If you look at the data which you have shown, it obviously it is 2021 data. I'm talking about 2001 data. You will find Muslim were 24%. They will increase to 26.6656% in your screen. So demographic changes are happening, which is not good for the community, those who are staying there, whether it's a Hindu, whether it's Christian. Christian has gone down by approx 1%. Why it's happening? And if you look at the incidences about the people are moving from, changing the converting and conversion happening in both the communities, Hindu as well as the Christian. So it's a red flag for both the communities to look into why it's happening. If you look at the lady who was shown in Kerala stories, some Sebastian, Sonia Sebastian, if I'm not mistaken, her name was Sonia Sebastian. Obviously, she is in jail in Afghanistan. So the Prime Minister approach is totally different. He wants to take everyone along with him, and obviously this particular government is for everyone. Nothing related to Hinduism, nothing related to Christianism, nothing is related to Muslim. We are living in the same country, and everyone has a right to be there and perform their religious rituals, whatever the way they want to do. So no one is stopping for sure. Yes, Kerala is little bit. If you want, I can give you a lot of statistics, which is really is going to be alarming for Christian community as well as the bishops, as well as for Hindus, for everyone. So we need to look at why radicalization is happening, who's doing what the changes are happening in across the state, and then
Mr.
we need
Rana,
to take the action.
well, Mr. Rana, let me break that flow of the thoughts that you were having. Sorry, I have to interrupt like that. First of all, when you were talking about the demography of Kerala, there are things that we have to also take into account. One is there is a huge emigration happening from the state, all right, and there is a huge emigration that's been happening from the state, and if it's not only emigration from the state, they are also going out of the country as well. So most of them have settled out in communities across India. So there is a huge number of people. If they all come back to Kerala, probably this demographics that we are looking at right now might change. That is a population statistic that we are looking at. Secondly, let me also take Pankaj. Pankaj, here the Rana is in fact saying that these are two different issues. But then there is resonance happening in Kerala. Are these two different issues? I mean, can we say that what's happening in one part of the country cannot have its effect on the other part of the country?
Well, that in every possible manner will have its impact, Varghese, because see, I mean, geographically, we might be, at two far ends of the country, but as far as the religious sentiments are concerned, as far as the identity aspect of this whole crisis evolving in Manipur is concerned, that remains very innate, and that's a very humane thing to have. Now, political parties obviously, play on that sentiment as well, because if you look at the examples of recently concluded elections also, the same theory any political party might or might not tend to have in a different state altogether. Because if you look at Kerala, then the population demography of Kerala as far as Christians and Muslims are concerned is more than the national average. So, with I think Christians at 18% and Muslims at 26.56%. That's so in that scenario, obviously the BJP would try to politically evolve a different concept there. But when it comes to the identity part of it, when it comes to the humane part of it, then people are very quick to call out the politics that is being done, and not proper heed is given to a particular crisis. In BJP's situation, the same thing is backfiring at them as of now, because the outreach that they are trying to implement or engineer in down south in Kerala is to a certain extent not seen being represented in the northeastern part of the country.
Well, let's get Father Paul Thelakat. Father, you have seen the debate that's been going on, saying that it's a totally different issue that's happening in Manipur. Why is it having an impact in Kerala? Can you explain as to what is actually happening so that Mr. Rana, who is also listening to you, can understand that this is what happening in Manipur is having an echo far away in Kerala as well? Because here there is a section in the laity who are now completely against the clergy over this issue. Can you explain as to what is happening?
Mr. Rana said about the demographic situations. You see, one of the factors that decrease the number of Christians in Kerala is migration. So many young people of Christian community are migrating Europe and other countries in search of better job opportunities, better life opportunities, and they are making an exodus from the country at all. That decreases. And also another factor is the birth rate is low among the Christians, but it is high in the Muslim community. But I may ask you one question. Is the Muslims breeding more because they are Muslims, or are they breeding more because they are poorer? That question is also an important question. Therefore, there is
But
increase
Father
of
Paul
population.
Telekart, I mean, it's not the
Yes.
question of population I was looking at. I mean, just to also apprise you of the fact, in fact, when you compare Kerala's Muslims with the rest of the country, they are far ahead of their
Yes.
peers
Yeah.
across the country. They are not in the same category as when you see in with regards to the other states. So it is not probably in that direction. Here, the question that Rana was trying to say is that, is there a conversion boogie that is there? And because we have seen how it was effectively used, I wouldn't say effectively because anyway the Congress won in Karnataka, but it was used in Karnataka's election as well. The Kerala story was something that was highlighted. You have in fact had different idea regarding the Kerala story. But over here, the larger question that Mr. Rana was also trying to say is that there is no impact. Has the situation in Manipur had any impact on the Christians in Kerala? If it had no impact, I think then you wouldn't have come with that publication in your Satyadipam. A lot of laity wouldn't have raised this issue on social media platforms. So can you tell if there is an impact or not?
Varghese, it is true there is an impact. You see, for example, I give you an example. In an index press card, George Alanjeri gave an interview. He said everywhere in India, the Christian people are at peace, they have no problem. That was the interview. And therefore, when it came to the notice what is happening in the Manipur, this was a case where when communities pitch against other community and there is a dialectical war, this happens. And that type of political antagonism, which can be also dangerous to every community. Therefore, that awareness is there in the laity and also awareness is there in the clergy. And that is why some of the bishops, when they said they are somewhere prone to BJP, there is a stiff opposition to that attitude. And that attitude was conceived because of certain leniency of certain bishops to the BJP. And that leniency may have their own individual as well as their communal issues and problems, but the general public of Christians do not support. That is the view that I hold, and the people in general, the Christian people in general, are secular-minded people looking at every community with an equanimity, with an attitude that is congenial to harmony. That harmonious situation nobody wants to disturb. That is the reality of Kerala, and that may be the reason behind the protest against the bishops who tried to have a better relation with the Modi ji as well as with the BJP.
All right,
That
all right,
people
all right,
are
Father
not.
Paul Telekar, just hold on to your thoughts. I'm also getting Rana into the discussion as well. I just got a person who I'll just give his first name, in fact, Ajit, who in fact has written in this: any love affair with the BJP is over for Kerala. Christians any love affair for BJP is over for Kerala Christians over what happened in Manipur. Now, this is what it has come in the chat box over here. So that is one reaction coming from normal Christian laity in Kerala, which we assume is from in the chat box. So Rana wanted to in fact respond to it. Yes, go ahead.
I was about to say that Christians are a very peaceful community, and I've not seen they are doing any kind of violence. At least in India, I've not seen anywhere. Obviously, incidents happen in Manipur. I agree. Something went wrong. Immediately, government has taken a proactive action and addressed the situation, what exactly happened. But when you talk about attacking on Christian community, where the attack has happened, if you look at the Kerala, just let's be specific to Kerala. You also mentioned, obviously, Bishop has also mentioned the people I migrated from Kerala to some part of India as well as abroad. Obviously, we are going for a job. We are going for further studies. We can move out from the state. We obviously, if you look at the literacy state percentage of Kerala is obviously it's the highest in India. I'm not doubting on that. But when you look at the population is not increasing because the people are coming back or going back. If suppose any census happening, people are counted on the basis of how many people are there in the family, whether they're living abroad, doesn't matter if you're going, I'm going for a study or something less. This situation is, we need to understand why is happening, especially in Kerala. When Prime Minister is trying to meet bishops Prime Minister is trying to meet all the community people, there must be a reason behind it. It's not because of politics, because they feel that the people of the Christian population in Kerala, I think, is the third largest population. So obviously, we need to take the people along with the rest of the folks. We cannot only focus on Hinduism and only talk about Muslims and only talk about Sikhism. We need to talk about all the people who stay in India, and that's why Prime Minister or any leader or any government is trying to have that agenda.
But
Obviously,
Rana,
they will
but
have
Rana, I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. There is something strange in that Kerala outreach, okay? And I've been trying to understand as to why. And probably Paul Telekat also could add to it, and Pankaj also could add to this. And in fact, Pankaj raised that issue as well in the beginning of that discussion. When the Prime Minister met out, he met in Kochi with bishops from particular churches, that is the Catholic Church as well as the Orthodox churches. Now, there was a marked absenteeism when it comes to the Protestant clergy in Kerala, especially from the Church of South India as well as from other Pentecostal churches and other independent Protestant churches. Meanwhile, the BJP has got working relationships in Nagaland with the Baptist churches, with the Presbyterian churches in Mizoram and Meghalaya, and the other Protestant denomination, Welsh churches and other Protestant denominations. But in Kerala, they avoided the Protestants. Why was that so? It's not making sense.
Okay, when you talk about why he's not meeting another person, is meeting one community only. Obviously, depend upon the protocol. Obviously, when the plan is decided by the organizer or the whoever is taking care of their PR, he has to look at all the things, whether it's the people are available or not, what kind of people are available, who want to meet, who not want to meet. If you look at the north, is obviously except Assam, mostly all are Christian state. I would say, take it Nagaland is 90% Christian, take it Mizoram almost 95% Christian. Manipur, I understand, is 52% Hindus are there, but rest of the northeast is absolutely Christian. But anyway, government is there. BJP government is there with the coalition. Obviously, I'm not talking about full-fledged BJP government, but with the support of the other people they form the government, except Assam. Therefore, we need to understand how is the approaching. First of all, did anyone approach like this in before? No, no one has approached like this ever. I have not seen in last 20 years. So Prime Minister is trying to approach people, trying to meet, obviously trying to understand. He's taking his thought process to the people of, I would say, Christian community. Obviously, he's meeting first time with the ex people. Next time he'll meet the white people. But we should not find out why he's meeting X, why not meeting Y. Sometimes it depends upon the protocol. Sometimes depend upon the timing. Sometimes depend upon various factors which influence the meeting of Prime Minister or meeting of any leader. Forget about the Prime Minister.
Well, Rana, let me bring out. It's basically, I think it is basically arithmetic. Let me, in fact, ask my producer to play the denominational graphics, the population by denomination in Kerala based on 2011 and the current statistic population. Let me get that graphics, and probably it'll make you understand. Now, I'll explain this graphics to you. The Syro-Malabar group, among the Christians, the 6 million odd Christians in Kerala, the Syro-Malabar group has got 40.20% of Christians belonging to it. So it's a Catholic denomination. Syro-Malankara is said to be around 7.60%. Malankara Orthodox Syrian is around 8%. Jacobite Syrian Orthodox are around 7.9%. Syrian Marthoma around 6.60%. And Chaldean Syrian Church are 0.43%. These are all Catholic and Orthodox churches belonging to a particular community. I'm not mentioned, in fact, the Latin Catholics who also constitute a good percentage of the Christians in Kerala. So now, this is something that is the factor in this. Over here, probably the meet happened because the majority of them belongs to these denominations. All right, majority of them belong to these denominations, and this is the reason why the Syro-Malabar Church in particular has been, in fact, looked into, because they constitute at least 41% of the Christians in Kerala. Now, there is one caveat that I have to add to this. This does not look into the Christian population from Kerala who has settled outside the state of Kerala and outside the country. There are a lot of these populations belonging to a lot of these churches there. This is what the situation right now, only in Kerala. We are looking at these statistics of Christians who are only in Kerala. So it is simple, this thing. If you look at it here, the Syro-Malabar Church or the Catholic Church, whether the Syro-Malankara or the Syro-Malabar, together constitute the large majority of the Christians in Kerala, and then you have the non-Catholic denominations also coming together. That is why the number game. In Northeast, it is mostly the Protestants who actually dominate. So that is why the working relationship with the BJP is there. The Catholics are a minority, or rather negligible in the Northeast. So that is why. So this is basically an election game that is, or rather the number game that we are looking at. That is why they were avoided.
No, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting in between.
Sorry, no, bro, go ahead, Rana. I'm just trying to explain the graphics.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, we have given a fantastic graphics. You've made some statement related to Northeast. Absolutely, Christians are not in minority for sure. They are into majority. I'm talking about excluding Assam. I'm not counting Assam because Assam is a Hindu population too. But if you look at the rest of the state, barring Manipur, because we are 50% are Hindu, I would say rest of the guys are 45%. So Christians are in majority. When you talk about the statistics which you have given for the Kerala, it's not the only number. Suppose Prime Minister is meeting Malabar Christian, which is approximately 40.20% as per the statistics. If it's not meeting them and meeting somebody else who is 6.80%, then people will raise the voice. Why is meeting these people, not meeting the majority who's contributing 40% majority? So depend upon how you look at it. It's always depend upon you, whether you look at the glass as half full or half full. So half empty and half full. This is up to you how you're looking at it. So Prime Minister is approaching people. Obviously, politics is there. Politicians will do the politics, and BJP is into politics, and they are doing some kind of social engineering in Kerala. It's no harm in that. Then they keep on doing. Keep on doing.
I understand the numbers. No, I understand the numbers. It's not the numbers part of it. But my question was that it is not like, it is more of the issue about how the outreach has been going on. Because as I said, they have a successful working relationship in Northeast with the Baptists, because they are very much established in Nagaland, or Presbyterian churches in Meghalaya or in Mizoram. They're very much established over there compared to the Catholic Church. But in Kerala, the Catholic Church seems to be more established with all its three wings. Father Paul Telakart, how do you see? There was a conscious avoidance of Protestants in this?
I do not think that they consciously avoided the Protestants. I have 2 points to make.
Because the CSI church was not called in. The CSI churches were not called in. The Pentecostal churches were not called in.
Formerly, the Latin communities, bishop also was not called.
Well, that is because of the Virinium issue. In fact, let us also take that, Father, let me bring that issue as well. You have the Virinium issue that is there.
That is also a problem. You see, first thing I want to say, the community, the birth rate depends on two factors: wealth and education. These are very high as regards the Syrian communities are concerned. There are also Orthodox Christians are the least number of birth. In the birth rate, they are the least, lowest of them. And then comes the Jacobite group, and then comes the Syro-Malabar Church, and highest birth rate is among the Latin Catholics. And therefore, this has to do with economics as well as with education. When the education is high, when the economic situation is high, the birth rate goes down. That is the one reason why the birth rate of Christians are lowering every year after every year. Secondly, I am not against Prime Minister extending the hands of welcome to any community. There is nothing hard. It is also politics, and politics must be embracing every community. And therefore, I am not against the Prime Minister coming and meeting the heads of the bishops, heads of the churches, with the community. But I am only concerned about that is selective and avoiding somebody else. They did not invite anybody from Muslim community, and that kind of attitude of hospitality and welcoming attitude is not extended to the Muslim community. That is what I am afraid of. That is why I am a little apprehensive of this attitude, which is merely politics.
So what are you saying? So what are you saying, Father Paul Telakart? What are you saying right now is that you're saying your apprehension that the Muslim community has not been included, but then the church is not very happy with the Muslim community as well. We have seen them openly speaking about it. During Chandi's time, when the portfolio for education, there was a big fight over it. When they asked for 5 ministries, again, there was a big fight over it. It is not that the church has love for the Muslim community as well. They have been openly fighting in Kerala as well. In fact, right now in Kerala, what is happening is that so much of religious polarization, everyone at each corner is talking about his religion, countering the other person's religion, writing publications on against each other's religion. This is what is actually happening in Kerala, and we are talking about what kind of secularism are we talking about? In fact, we are having a facade of secularism in Kerala right now.
Varghese, it is true that there is a lot of discomfort within Muslim community and Christian community. They are concerning about the rights, economic rights and everything. But the reality is what is happening between the two communities. Perhaps there is misreading of and misinterpretation of what is happening between the two communities. Two communities are so different from themselves, and the Christians are highly educated. Christian youth are completely emigrating from the state.
Father Paul Telaka, that is an argument that you're giving. If you take, I think Mr. Rana wants to also give an answer to it. Let's in fact go to, I'll just come to your thought. I have a question to you as well. I'll just give Rana to respond for a minute. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So, I was just hearing very carefully to Father, but I was failed to understand what he's trying to communicate. Once he said his government is not doing any for the Christian, then he said why not involving Muslim community. Boss, we need to understand. Prime Minister's meeting to particular community is not Sarv Dharm Samman, Sarv Dharm Sammelan, or all party meeting. It depends upon his agenda. Obviously, his agenda, his planning is to meet Christian bishops. When he will have agenda to meet Muslims, he will go and meet that Pasmanda. He had, running a kind of show, I would say, objective to take care of the Pasmanda Muslim Samaj, whose approximately 86-85% of total Muslim community. So he look at each and everything in bit and pieces. Obviously, he cannot meet all the people. Then he will say, why not inviting Hindu people? The objective of this meeting was to meet only bishops related to Christians. Maybe in Christian there is a multiple tower, multiple verticals are there. I'm not going into integrity of that because my knowledge is very limited on that integrity. But when you talk to the Christian, we look at the Christian as a community, and Prime Minister is meeting that particular community. Why we are talking about Muslims? Number one. Number two, when we talk about the population and education, we understand very well. If the people are educated, obviously they know what they are doing and what is how it's going to impact overall. So educated people obviously look at you find 2 or 3 children in any educated family. So we understand Christians are very educated. They believe in that. They understand everything. Okay. When we talk about the third person, which is critical as looking at the scenario in Kerala, please understand it was not happened in the history of India. It's first time happening when the Prime Minister of India meeting to, I would say, to Bishop in Kerala, and obviously meeting the Christian community, and is trying to understand, obviously, as a PM, as the leader of this country. Yes, for him, everyone is same. We need to welcome whatever the step he is taking. We need to welcome his approach. Obviously, if he's going anywhere wrong, obviously we need to raise a red flag and say, boss, you need to involve this one. It's called a good suggestion. But just criticizing because he's meeting Christian, not meeting Muslim, then you're criticizing. It's not making sense.
Well, Rana, let's in fact go to Father Paul Telaka on that. Father, I mean, I have my own issues to ask, but Rana has asked a pertinent question. This meeting was only about reaching out to the Christians. Why should it be also given to the Muslim community as such? I mean, it was. I mean, the Prime Minister, of course, will have his own way of going ahead and having his outreach programs. He will, in fact, meet them later. So, why make a hue and cry over it? Are you worried that an absence has happened? Are you worried that
No, not at all. Not at all. The simple assumption is that in Kerala, the Hindu BJP cannot win with a considerable majority with the help of the Hindus alone. They want to have in their.
So are you saying that the consolidation of Hindus alone is not going to deliver? You can't be in power.
They want a minority group also with them.
Of course, that's how the arithmetics in fact function. That's how the arithmetic function. That looks like, in fact, the population graphics in fact show that also.
That is also seen as a divisive policy. That's a problem.
So you're saying that it is just trying to play one person against the other. That's what you're
Yes,
saying.
that is what is the problem. That
So,
is
okay.
what
Now,
we
if that
say.
was the case, if that was the case, Father, then why is it that we have a lot of Christians, I mean, from across denominations, hitting out against Muslims in the state over so many factors? One is that we have issues about conversion that they have been raising about it. We have issues regarding competition, in fact, also being raised in together. In fact, we are talking about immigrations, and we have seen how, because of this immigration, there have been several areas in Kerala that is already seething tension between the Christians as well as the Muslims over buying of property, setting up of religious structures. Schools have become competitive. Business has become another area of competition. I mean, I'm fine if it's a level playing field, it is fine. But the problem is, both the communities are in competition as to who is going to be the minority community dominate these places. Traditionally, Christians have been dominating the plantation side. They have been dominating some of the lower businesses. They have, in fact, had, if you look at how the Travancore, Kochi and Malabar had operated, most of them have, in fact, had that kind of presence in all these places. But then now you have another community that is coming in. They are also educated. They are also having entrepreneurial skills, and they are moving in. And then you have this backlash also coming in from most of the bishops in Kerala. So that is why, in fact, earlier also I've asked,
But
what
this
is the
is
common
true.
ground between the BJP and the church? And it seems to be only one.
This is very important question that you are raised. You see, the question is that two communities may be competing each other in economics, in education, in culture, everywhere. That is not in itself a bad thing. This is explained.
I'm not saying it's a
by
bad thing.
Hitler.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
It's
But this
not a bad
competition
thing.
is having
This
two.
one-
This
is
competition is
it-
leading to the birth of extremists.
Yes,
My
that
problem is
true.
that this competition is leading
That-
to extreme. And the Manipur,
Sir.
the issue about Manipur is also that the Manipur issue is also being used by various extremists. That is the
What is-
issue.
This is true. This is true.
Because
If
when we are looking at, see, for
there-
example, Rana is saying that it's a tribal versus non-tribal issue that is happening, and that has nothing to have a bearing. But in Kerala, it's resounds. Why? Because
I
suddenly
give
there's a
you-
persecution complex within the Christian community, and that did not happen. See, both sides keep feeding, Father. I think let me just give you this thing.
There is one reason. You see, this kind of rivalry. This is what Girard, a French author, will say mimetic rivalry. The rivalry between them are mimetic. They are equally imitating each other and fighting each other. This is the tragedy that is taking place. This will happen in any community when they are growing. That is the situation we have, and that should be properly interpreted, not in religious terms. It is happening in economics, in education.
Then, Father,
in
Father,
culture.
why is
That
it? If we are not interpreting it religiously, why is
that
it?
is an easy interpretation. That is an easy interpretation which will land
So
you
what is the
in
complex
communalism.
interpretation then? What is
It
the
a
complex
social-
interpretation?
It is a complication. It is a complex interpretation which need to be very thoroughly done, and this should not be interpreted in a religious manner. It is that will breed religious communalism.
So
That is
then
what is happening
why
in-
is Manipur? Why is Manipur used to target the clergy as well? In fact, your Satyadevam has used to target the clergy. The Manipur incident has been used to target those clergy who've been supportive with the BJP, trying to in fact make bridges with the BJP on this matter. So you're saying the
Therefore-
complexities. So I understand the entire thing, because I have I understand the entire thing simply because I've gone through both the sides of the story and how Manipur has been used as well in Kerala as such. And of course, it echoes for a common Christian in Kerala because he's feeling insecure right now. That is what's the truth about it. He's feeling quite insecure right now. He's
Christians
insecure
are
from
feeling-
one dominant community, another minority community. He's feeling very insecure, and it's very easy to radicalize him. Something that happened in France, echoed in the WhatsApp groups in Kerala. Something that happens in Turkey echoes in the WhatsApp groups of Kerala. Hagia Sophia, in fact, it was, let us also understand that a very prominent leader of the Muslim League, in fact, went ahead and wrote it in their publication in Chandrika about Hagia Sophia being turned into a mosque again, and it echoed again. So Manipur is going to echo in Kerala as well, because
Yes,
it is
it is
basic
a-
insecurity that is there. And this
There is-
insecurity, Father, is leading to the politics right now for the Christian community in Kerala. That is the truth about it.
I am talking about insecurity, but that insecurity should not be interpreted in a religious manner. That is the danger that I was saying before. It is a
But Father, I'm failing to understand that part. I'm failing to understand, but let me get Rana into the discussion. I'm failing to understand that part of how religious and that insecurity shouldn't be termed in religious nature. But Rana, yes, you heard it. How it? I mean, probably you would have understood how now
No,
Manipur is echoing in Kerala as such.
no, echo will happen everywhere across the world. If anything happened in the US, it will echoing in India as well. Take it anywhere in Australia, doesn't matter. But I fail to understand what Father was trying to communicate and what he's trying to demonstrate here in front of us. Simple as that. He was talking about BJP cannot win on the basis of one community. It's called Hindu community. If it would have been the case that all the Hindu would have given a vote, 53% would have given the vote, then BJP would have formed the government. But it's not. Hindus
No,
are
Rana, I
not
understand
voting
why
for the.
Father said that because, you know, on the electoral map in Kerala, you require at least one minority community to go with you. The
Absolutely.
complete consolidation cannot happen. So I understand that part of Father's arithmetics in that. There is a electoral
So,
arithmetic that is at
yeah,
work.
and you rightly mentioned one more point. The community, I'm talking the Christian community, are feeling insecure and they're looking at BJP as a party. And you know the fact because you're a journalist, you understand better than me. So if you look at what radicalization happened, your demographic changes, just give you few facts. The Muslim community were there in North Kerala. If you look at nowadays, they are moving towards South Kerala, where Hindu and Christian were dominating. And if you look at the education system obviously owned or driven by Christians in Kerala. Obviously, if you look at all the missionary schools across India, obviously headed by Christian community. So where exactly happening? They are also coming in that field. So it is anyway alarming for Christians, alarming, especially just talking about the Kerala, I'm not talking the rest of the part of the India, is alarming. They are feeling insecure on all the ground. Not only I'm talking about the business perspective. Obviously, when we are doing a business, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, obviously we will face the competition. Somebody will Muslim, somebody will Hindu. But we are into competition too. It depends if some community is dominating or trying to dominate some religion. Obviously, people will react, and which is happening in Kerala. So Christians are trying to react is coming out. It is there in the various notes, various newspaper, various debates. You'll find all the things which are coming up. I'm not saying don't believe on me, don't believe any BJP leader, but look at the people, those who are coming from the same community, from the same state. They are raising the voice against a particular community. There must be some reason behind it. So we need to look at why it is happening. And Prime Minister is trying to reach out to one community, maybe their agenda and the plan. Agenda means the plan. I'm not talking with the Prime Minister is going with some particular agenda. I'm saying with the plan and the objective, he's going and meeting. He will have some other agenda in the plan. He will meet to other community. So he's a Prime Minister work, and we need to not look at in isolation. No, why he's meeting X community? Why not meeting Y? He has all the rights to meet whomsoever he want to meet, and anyone who want to meet the Prime Minister, they have all the rights to meet the Prime Minister. So same way Kerala is happening, and no doubt BJP is a political party, and they do the politics, and they're trying to obviously they have a vote bank, and they're trying to increase their vote bank. No harm. This Christian is voting in Northeast. Why cannot vote in Kerala? They can vote. It's depend upon how he is helping that community, how people are connected with the Bharatiya Janata Party or Prime Minister. If they feel is connected, any connection is then obviously vote will move from X party to Y party, and everyone do their job. Everyone try to do best to take the vote share from X to Y, and which if the BJP party is doing, I don't see there is any harm. And everyone should focus on that. That is called a strategy and the planning. And the strategy and planning is there, is trying to execute. And if everyone is getting benefit out of it, it's no harm to execute such policy which is trying to bring. That's my submission here.
Well, Rana,
For
in
the
fact,
father.
in fact, that is how we, in fact, have seen it right now. But Father
Yeah.
Paul Tilakat, in fact, I think we must, in fact, see it much carefully because over here, Manipur is echoing in Kerala. We have this complexity, as you say, we have to look at it from a complex manner because if we go by it, it's not that, let us be fair with the Muslim community also in Kerala. The fact is that they are also seeing higher number of immigration now. They are also moving out to the rest of the country and they are also following the same part of us. They are also moving out of the country as well. So,
What I am saying is simply one thing. The competition in commerce, the competition in education, competition in industry, they are there. It is there. such competition should not be reduced to simply religious matter, and then what will happen is organizations will CASA will increase. That is the danger the Christians will see, and that is the danger many of
But
the
Father,
laity see.
then Father, let us in fact, I understand that kind of a thing, that even I'm worried about that kind of extremism that is there within the Christian community as well as the Muslim community or in the Hindu community, because we in fact come from a wonderful constitution that we have and we have been living for ages together. But now, I think the clergy has in fact left the ground for extremists to in fact go out and do things. I think clergy from all the religions have just left extremists to interpret everything on the ground. That is the reason you have vacated the space for these extremists to act. Why? Because you were not there when it was required, or you gave the wrong perception when it's required. You're giving conflicting remarks when required. In fact, I'll just get you how the voting pattern has been. Mark Gregorius of the Jacobite Church has said that do not believe that the voter will vote according to what the bishop will say. He's in fact made an open statement from the Jacobite Church. He's made an open statement. Don't believe that is going to happen.
That is what I am saying. The laity of the Kerala Church, the Christians of Kerala Church, they are highly educated and emancipated. And therefore, they are capable of seeing the intricacies, the mimetic rivalry and the complexities, and they will decide. And that's why there is a lot of backlash and resentment to the bishops. And
so my
bishops
issue is
should not
only that.
become-
My issues then, a lot of things keep happening around the world. But then the extremists are using it within the
Yes.
state to in fact foment some kind of an narrative into the state, and that's making, you know, each community a kind of insecure with what is happening. So that is my only problem that I see in this. I see in this only, that is the only problem that I see. But my problem is also that extremists are gaining ground everywhere. That is my problem with it. Anyway, thank you, Father. In fact, yes.
The bishop should not become leaders of extremism. That is the problem many laity and priests are raising. Bishops should not do that. And then it becomes a bigger problem, and the leaders should be able to contain the extremism that is within the community.
Well, in fact, we'll take that point as well. Well, it looks like, well, Pankaj, it also looks like how the entire debate is in fact panning out in the manner in Kerala. It looks like the Manipur incident. Of course, a lot of people might ask, what is a distance got to do? But anything that happens anywhere in India will have impact across this country, because this country is united. Its people are all across the place, different religions, different cultures. We cannot deny any sort of factoring, saying that this might not have an impact, this might have an impact. But of course, we need to in fact see, yes, you were in fact...
and in fact, you know, talking about the impact of, you know, what is happening in Manipur on other parts of the country now, we are discussing Kerala obviously, but the kind of messages we are getting in the chat box clearly represents that the sentiments, what are the sentiments as far as the Manipur issue is concerned. A lot of residents from Manipur and Manipuris are also quoting and mentioning their grievances and comments in this particular debate. Obviously, it's not just limited to Kerala, Varghese, but yes, if you look at them, Manipur situation is not about Hindu versus Christian. If you want to know the truth, please do visit Manipur and see what exactly happens. This is Hoipi Mate, he's writing it. Ajit Thomas, on the other hand, says there is no insecurity for Christians in Kerala. In Kerala, we are quite secure. We feel sincerely for our brothers in Manipur. So it is not a one-way process, it's a two-way traffic, and obviously for the peace-loving people of both Manipur and Kerala, I believe politics aside, peace needs to be given time, and that's what we are looking at.
Well, in fact, peace needs to be given time in this, and therefore let us see how the Manipur situation will unfold, because well, we are an organic country, and as brothers going through different kind of situations and having to in fact face different kind of situations as well, we all are in fact connected in this great country.